Famed Irish writer Bernard Shaw once described Skellig Michael as the most fantastic and impossible rock in the world. A sentiment with which I agree, and another reason why, 9 months on, I think about our time spent traveling Ireland most every day. Is it the stunning seascapes? The immersive history? Maybe it's because I see it as an ancestral homeland, just as millions of people around the world. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We create videos of our world travels hoping to inspire others to dream up a journey of their own. This is the Dream to Journey family, lucky enough to spend an unforgettable week on the Emerald Isle.
We begin in Dublin, then head to Cashel for a night. Driving the Ring of Kerry, we visit Skellig Michael just off the coast. We continue our road trip exploring the Dingle Peninsula before ending at the cliffs of Moher and the Aran Islands. After a friendly train ride, we disembark in the heart of Old Town Dublin. This city is just romantic. Live music, flower stands, castles, poetry, riverside strolls, and historic monuments all work together harmoniously to wrap you up in the magic of Dublin. Eager to see one of Dublin's most visited sites, we visit the library of Trinity College, established by Queen Elizabeth I in the 1500s. The Long Hall is a treasure to all who love to get lost in a book. But the most popular book to view is the Book of Kells, one of the most famous medieval manuscripts in the world, known for its intricate artwork and historical significance. Each page design is so elaborate with patterns, colors, and symbols, you can stare at one page for minutes and still find more to be impressed with.
After our brief stay in Dublin, we head west. Ireland is really best explored by car. This was just my second time driving on the left side of the road. Slow down, especially on those narrow Irish roads, and it will soon become second nature. We're in the small town of Cashel, staying in a recommended bed and breakfast before heading out to catch locals gathered at the evening pub scene. We're here to see the Rock of Cashel, a medieval fortress perched atop a rocky outcrop, boasting a rich history dating back well over 1,000 years. A guided tour is a must here, and tours can only be booked on site. We found it best to arrive as soon as the site opened, as tours can fill quickly. According to legend, St. Patrick himself came here to convert King Angus to Christianity. In the 12th century, the site was given to the church, and Cashel swiftly rose to prominence as one of the most significant centers of ecclesiastical power in the country. The surviving buildings are remarkable. Cormac's Chapel, which can only be visited by guided tour, contains fragments of the only surviving Romanesque frescoes in Ireland.
It's worth the time to scat out stops to make along an Irish road trip. One favorite we like to share was Stag Fort, a still-standing ring fort made of stones over 2,000 years ago. Standing in along the walls over 5 meters high or popping in the little rooms along the base, we felt a sense of connection with the civilization who made home here in this rugged part of Ireland. The walls are so well built that even thousands of years later, we now take a turn at sentry duty. This stop is meaningful and a great place to stretch our legs with a game of tag with our wee lass. We loved getting the reminder to slow down and soak in the beauties along the way. Leaving the countryside, we braced ourselves to explore the Irish seaside. Visiting the cliffs of Kerry was extra breathtaking as Kyle and I got to do so together with the help of grandparents willing to watch our daughter away from the windy cliff edge.
There comes with it a certain weight when narrating an all-time great travel experience. I'm talking truly Hall of Fame caliber stuff, like our visit to the Skellig Islands. A set of 2 islands, Little Skellig and Skellig Michael, are situated 8 miles off the Atlantic coast of Ireland. Sea conditions are often rough. Access by boat is only possible approximately a third of the days during the visiting season, which lasts from May to September. We first circle around Little Skellig, whose sheer cliffs provide nesting sites for thousands of northern gannet seabirds. It's breeding season and these birds are gathered in the thousands. We then catch our first glimpse of Skellig Michael, whose jagged peaks reach over 700 feet at the highest point. Having landed, we begin our ascent. We soon discover we are making our way through prime puffin habitat, whose distinctive orange beaks and white bellies stand out against the lush vegetation and deep blue waters. Burrowed amongst the rocks and vegetation, it's breeding season and the whole island is covered with these nesting seabirds. Puffins rely on the nutrient-rich Atlantic teeming with fish, making it an ideal hunting ground as these skilled divers plunge beneath the waves in search of food for themselves and their young.
Continuing our ascent, we followed the same path the monks of antiquity led over 1,000 years ago when Skellig Michael was first inhabited. Skellig Michael, one of Ireland's 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, was first settled in the 6th century AD by Christian monks who built a monastery on the island. The dwellings are perched high on the rocky cliffs and offer an opportunity for monks to seek solitude and a place for religious devotion. A remarkable feat considering the harsh Atlantic weather conditions and isolated environment. It is thought that the rock was the permanent home to about 12 monks. They followed a strict monastic schedule which included communal prayers, chanting of psalms, and silent contemplation. They lived in these stone beehive huts.
This is awesome.
They're actually more spacious in here than I thought they would be.
They are, and they're not like damp feeling. They feel very dry.
Yeah.
Very clean, honestly. And they've got a decent airflow too, but no lighting. It's hard to see.
After enduring Viking raids in the 9th and 10th centuries, the monastery was eventually abandoned in the 12th century. Guides are posted at the top of Skellig Michael to provide great in-depth history. Hidden almost out of sight is an ingenious water cistern, engineered to gather and store fresh rainwater. And surrounding the complex are a series of terraced farms. After the fall of Rome, it was monasteries like this, located on the far western fringes of the dwindling European continent, that became the last bastions of Western knowledge. Monks within these monasteries diligently copied and preserved ancient texts, including works of Greek philosophers and Roman writers that otherwise would have likely been lost to us now.
You don't have to.
No, they don't.
So Dad, explain our lunch here.
So,
We have a lunch. It's just not here.
we were a little panicked getting out this morning. We were running behind, throwing things in bags and everything. I didn't know I was supposed to bring the lunch, so I just grabbed 4 pieces of bread that were in this, that we were supposed to have for breakfast. Wrapped them up, grabbed 3 apples, threw them in my bag, and then we get up here, and Bailey's all, "Where's the meatball sandwiches?" I said, "What meatball sandwiches?" And chips and granola bars and everything else. So we get a piece of bread, simple, like the monks that were up here, and an apple.
And an apple.
More than they would have had,
sure.
so shut up and eat, Bailey.
If you were born close to the millennium, a small part of you is probably itching due to the fact that Star Wars has yet to be mentioned. Yes, Skellig Michael was a filming location in the latest Star Wars series, but this island is so much more. I wasn't going to bring it up at all for a few reasons. One, I think the latest Star Wars sequel trilogy was a bit of a mistake. And 2, for me, imposing our nostalgic space wizard fantasy on an incredibly gritty, tangible historical site ruins the experience and cheapens the sacrifice of the centuries of hardened monks who spent their lives subsisting here. Visiting Skellig Michael was nothing short of a spiritual experience for us. Men died here grasping onto the idea that only by experiencing such pain could they draw closer to their God. The last thing I want to do when visiting is picturing an old, whiny, shut-in Luke Skywalker. Am I being too harsh? Should historical sites be enjoyed however people want, even if it means relying on creations of our fantasy? I'm genuinely curious what others have to think about this. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. While visiting Northern Ireland, we were fortunate enough to house sit in the countryside for someone that provided us with free lodging and use of her car in exchange for caring for her house and 2 dogs while she was away on vacation. We cherished the time we had exploring the nearby gardens and villages and enjoying a genuine local experience. We stayed for 9 days, which comes to a cost savings of around $1,000. We so enjoyed our stay, we wanted to share this experience with you. Scan the QR code or see a link in the description below for the house sitting service we have come to rely on at no extra cost to you. Thank you for supporting our channel.
Exploring new seaside towns leads us to a charming city of Dingle, a great stop for a city walk and some experiences of a lifetime. We booked an experience where we visited the Kingdom Falconry. Playing with birds of prey of all kinds and sizes, you get a close-up view of some of the amazing creatures. Group sizes vary, but everyone gets an opportunity to get as friendly with the birds as they want. But the real fun starts when the sun goes down. Pub crawling was an unforgettable experience as we pushed our way through crowds to get a taste of some local music and the very Irish drink, Guinness. Although I will admit, it may not be our cup of tea.
There you go. Got it.
For a more calm introduction to Irish music, take a peek at the event calendars of the community centers and church sites you visit.
A drive of the Dingle Peninsula makes for a great day trip. The combination of historical sites and seascapes makes for one epic road trip. This Irish cottage was abandoned during the Great Famine, when 1 million people died and millions of other people emigrated from Ireland. Step inside the Great Blasket Center to learn about the remarkable history of this windswept island just off the Dingle Peninsula. Dating back to the 7th or 8th century, the Gallerist Oratory is constructed entirely from dry stacked stones, meticulously arranged without the use of mortar. The Gallus Oratory is widely believed to have served as a place of worship for early Christian communities in the region. Despite its age, this building has withstood the test of time remarkably well and is still completely waterproofed.
Ireland is dotted with castle ruins that are amazing to visit, but some can truly be experienced, like the Dunguaire Castle. Booked early in advance, we were whisked away into a medieval banquet room with food and entertainment to match the venue. Even Reese liked ditching the need of a spoon and having the freedom to eat with her hands. Though sites like this can be considered cheesy tourist stops, we loved having Irish song and story shared with us in such a unique way. Though Ireland is itself an island, there are roughly 80 other inhabited islands around to visit. One of the more popular island communities to visit is the Inishmore Island, a place where you can peek into the lives of those who currently reside, once lived not so long ago, and thrived even in ancient times. After disembarking the ferry, we hopped on a tour bus with a local guide to show us around the island. But do come prepared for the afternoon traffic jam. A ring fort that can truly be called impressive is Dunguaire. After a short hike from the visitor center to the fort, bracing the wind, we are well rewarded. This fort is estimated to have been built in the Iron Age, making it roughly 3,000 years old. Its 3 walls are also built without the use of any kind of mortar or cement, just dry stones stacked one on top of another. This stone fort is perched right on the edge of a sheer cliff to keep an eye on the waters for invaders and offers an incredible view. Keeping an eye on wandering children, Dunguaire also serves as a playpen for children in search of 4-leaf clovers. Just sit back and enjoy a view that really hasn't changed much for thousands of years.
Our last stop on Inishmore is at the Wormhole. A nearly perfect rectangle cut from the rock by the harsh Atlantic. It seems impossible, really. The ride back to the mainland can be made into an extra trip if you find a ferry that also does tour routes to see the famous cliffs of Moher. But to get the best views of the cliffs means braving the splash zone of the outdoor seating. Bring a raincoat and some motion sickness patches because it is quite the ride. As we struggled to get good footage of the cliffs of Moher due to holding on for our dear lives, their beauty was not lost on us. What I have experienced here in Ireland will not soon be forgotten. It all makes for a true once-in-a-lifetime experience. I was so very lucky to be able to share it with my parents and the 2 loveliest girls. If you enjoyed this video, consider journeying along with us by subscribing. Next time, we find ourselves exploring merry old England. Thanks for watching, and as always, dream big and enjoy the journey. How dare you? I feel so betrayed.
My favorite. My favorite. Yes.